No hipsters.
No hipsters.
No hipsters pod.
Episode 75, No Hipsters Pod. Your boy Ron, the founder of NoHipstersLab.com. And we have none other than Thevey with us.
Hey y'all,
For the
it's
first
Miss
time
Thevey.
in what? How long?
It's been at least a whole year.
Right. The last time we were
Y'all
here,
should be really disappointed in him.
The last time we were here, we're talking about you're not a tree, you can move. You're not a tree, you can move. But anyway.
Oh, you said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
We need.
And I ran out of here, pulled the mic and everything. It was too funny.
But now we
It
have
was too
wireless
funny.
mics because we moving on up.
The upgrade.
Right.
The upgrade.
Yeah.
No, this is really an upgrade for real.
It
The
is.
mics sound nice. I know y'all hear us.
Right.
We sound nice.
It's all good. Production quality is just going up and up and up. I love
Period.
it. So yes, cheers to you and your return.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, as always. All right, there's a lot to get to, but before we get into the topic still, a little birdie told me that you now have a podcast.
I do. And I would love for you all to check me out there. It is called the Enjoy Podcast. That is INJOY Podcast. And that is that name across all major platforms. And it's a podcast where we talk about me and my podcast host, Shauna, which is also a close friend of mine. She's an Aquarius. I'm a Libra. Air sign tings. And we discuss bold truth in unfiltered discussion as we discover what it means to thrive through modes of psychology, astrology, human design, anything, spirituality, anything that you can think of. We share our tools and what has navigated us through life with you all. So please check us out on Instagram so you can see some of our clips, and then go over to YouTube so you can watch the full video, and then go over to TikTok so you can like us there too. And yeah.
Looking forward to it. Are you going to have me as a guest?
Actually, I would love that. I think next season we're going to start bringing on guests, spicing it up a bit. So I would actually love that. I would love to have you on.
Looking forward to it.
We just got to talk about, you got to be comfortable being vulnerable, because we be vulnerable on there.
Okay, see, I don't know about all that.
We be vulnerable, okay? We be sharing our tea, the tea.
Oh, Lord.
So you got to be ready
I'll
to.
have to come with my walls down.
Okay. You got to show us your train wreck in the morning. Okay.
All right, let's get to the topics. And I think the one thing that is top of mind right now is what looks like the downfall of Diddy.
Yes, he's going down.
So just a few weeks ago now, Cassie sued Diddy, accused him of sexual assault, physical abuse, sex trafficking, and she took advantage of the Adult Survivors Act, which is a law in New York that opened a window for about a year that allowed people to bring forward cases and civil suits that normally would be blocked due to the statutes of limitations. And so a lot of people kind of got in on that. There were so many people, a lot, like tons of people. Cuba Gooding Jr. got sued again by the ladies whose accusations were not successful last time.
Yeah, Weinstein did.
Weinstein, another new
Jamie Foxx,
Axl Rose, Jamie Foxx, tons of people. But I think Diddy is the one who's grabbed the headlines.
Jamie Foxx is actually countersuing.
Yes, but Diddy grabbed the headlines because his suit was the most explosive, and it was, crazy, right?
I mean, the head of the suit literally was, or the front page of the suit literally had a trigger warning.
Right.
And it was the first time that many had seen something like that.
Right, which is crazy. And then since then, another suit has had a trigger warning. So the first was Cassie. We talked about it.
Same lawyers too.
Right. We talked about it an episode or two ago on the podcast. And since then, there have been 3 more lawsuits. One of them accused him and Aaron Hall of gang raping her in the early 90s. And Aaron Hall has tons of I won't say corroborating, I won't say evidence, but things that would give it a lot of credence.
I like the fucking public, you feel me?
Yeah.
So niggas can't say nothing about it. Them square ass niggas, them precious cake little dick niggas.
Yeah.
I like for them niggas to see how I fuck. Like if you speak to Jodeci or Puffy or any of them niggas, they been at my house. They all see me fuck. They all know I'm a big nigga.
He talks a lot in his interviews.
Yes, talks a lot and says a lot of shit and says a lot of things about Diddy witnessing him having sex. And so it all kind of tracks.
I am just really, really perplexed at how this hasn't happened before. I am so glad that Cassie was the first to break,
and that's why it's good
break
for
the
survivors
ice.
to speak up, because it gives others the confidence to do
exactly.
so.
And for her to have been his girlfriend, it gave so much validity to the story. And I think people in the industry have known for a long time that Diddy is a freaky frog, which is why nobody, literally
freaky frog,
a freaky frog, and literally nobody came in support of him. Not one person has come in support of Diddy. Not one person. Actually, and I think it says a lot.
Because there is always a dunce out there.
Always one. What's his name? The Texas one, the Houston rapper, Texas rapper. I think not Bun B. Not Bun B. Who's the other one?
About who?
He didn't say something in support
of
Slim Thug. He did come out and say like
he would be the dunce this time around.
He would be the dunce because although he didn't say Diddy didn't do it, what he did say,
like in getting Bill Cosby, coming back and getting Puff, I don't believe in that, man. When shit go down, speak on that shit right then, or it's out of it. It should be null and void. You shouldn't even have no type of nothing. You shouldn't be able to do shit unless you let the people know what happened immediately.
Which is
that was quite literally what the law was still allowed.
Yeah, so literally. And it's also stupid because if somebody murders your family member, we don't be like, oh, 20 years later, you shouldn't prosecute the murderer because they happened 20 years ago. No.
Right. And then and this is why it's always smarter to just be quiet and eat your food, is that, they brought up the fact that he was fucking his cousin.
I knew you were going to say
about that otherwise. So it wasn't really smart.
Oh, not just fucking his cousin. He was with LaToya Luckett, fucked his cousin, got his cousin pregnant, which is why LaToya broke up with him. That's the specified story. He had his cousin pregnant.
He should have sat there
and ate his food.
Yeah. So. Anyway, so Diddy. So one last.
So yeah, he stepped down in revolt.
The school one of the schools he helped found has asked him to has cut ties with him. The charter schools in New York.
Oh yes, the charter schools for young black men. Oh, that's cut sad. Ties with him,
and so revolt. He's been asked to step down. I mean, what I hear is this girl who's gone viral because she said, "Oh, the liability."
She broke it down. Yeah,
and, I mean, no one really knows. The only thing that knows for sure are Diddy and his legal team. If that is true, then that's that.
So essentially, the girl said
they didn't sue just Diddy; they sued his corporations.
They sure did.
And they sued his corporations and sued in her capacity as an employee. When you do that, it triggers commercial liability insurance.
Yeah.
And it triggers another policy called directors and officers. Okay. And we know he's a director of these companies as the CEO. So now you got two policies. What happens then is it takes away Puffy's ability to settle. It's not his choice no more.
So it's no longer personal accountability. It's his organization.
It's his organization. And it's no different than like if you hit somebody with your car.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have State Farm. State Farm gets to decide to settle, not you. You could say, I didn't run the stop sign. That's not true. They're lying. If State Farm says, we don't care, we did our investigation, we're settling. That's it. That's what happened here.
Not only do they have the decision to settle, but they can also force you to step down.
I
think that's the
exactly that he can step down, which is what we're seeing now.
Right. So Cassie's lawsuit since then, we've had 3. The Aaron Hall situation, one that is with Aaron Hall. There was another one before the 4th, and it's crazy that I'm actually forgetting the details because my mind is now so stuck on the most recent one.
Yeah.
But the 4th one is this woman who said that Diddy and Harvey Pierre, I'm not sure if it's Harvey or Harv, but he's one of the Bad Boy execs, president of Bad Boy actually. Diddy and some other man gang raped her at Daddy's house.
Jesus.
And she showed pictures of her with Diddy at the time to kind of support her story. So it's just all bad. And I mean, he's rich, so I don't think he's going to be broke, but I think it's going to affect his ability to do business. And like I've said in recent episodes, he's not going to have polite company like before because he's radioactive now.
I mean, it's about time we had a Me Too movement in hip hop, though.
Right.
I think a lot of times
I don't think there'll be much of a genre left afterwards, but
I mean, no, that's valid, and I think that the reason is because, and I can only speak for the black male community. I can't really speak for the white male community. Y'all had your Me Too movement, but I don't that's a white man, so I don't know what be going on with y'all. But I do know that when you're talking to black men, whether they're my friends, my family, in relationships with them,
hip hop and
black men,
but black men who are not,
period. But like, I don't think a lot of men understand what sexual assault is and how nuanced it can be. And so oftentimes they look at a woman's reaction to determine whether it's sexual assault or not. Even 50 Cent, who is going in on Diddy right now, right? And I would love to say like, oh, the reason why 50 Cent going in on Diddy, and he also went in on Rick Ross, because he was like, Rick Ross about to be part of that lineup because put a Molly in her drink, she ain't even know it.
It's actually crazy that he survived that whole thing.
Right. So they were saying like 50 was saying like, you part of the Freaky Frogs too. Like, and I'm about to do a documentary on it and get my money to sexual assault victims. But here's the thing. I bet that there's a story out there about 50 Cent touching a woman inappropriately and him not thinking twice of it. Because he's just thinking, I'm a man, this a fine ass woman, she probably a groupie. I grab her by her titty. It ain't nothing. That's what happened with Jamie Foxx. Wasn't it like he grabbed the girl by her titty or something like that? And a lot of times men think they can do things, and it's like, oh, because of the environment we're in, it's funny, or like, oh, she probably wants it, or it's not that serious. Until you realize that, no, that's sexual assault. That counts as, you don't have to rape a girl for it to be sexual assault. You don't have to knock her out for it to be sexual assault. Your penis does not have to come out for it to be sexual assault. If you did not get consent and you did something to a woman that woman did not ask for you to do, it is sexual assault. And she can come out and speak about it later and claim it as such. So I hope that what it does is make the men in hip hop more cautious of how they maneuver with women, more cautious of how they approach women, and overall just show more respect to the women who have been in hip hop for years and who've just been enduring this behavior for years. Also, even talking about your dick, talking about your sexcapades, all of that stuff in front of women, all of that could also be kind of sexual assault. So I don't know, go look up the definition of sexual assault, study it. As a man, you're building this empire for yourself. I would think that y'all would be more cautious. And then sometimes it feels like there's a power trip, there's an ego trip, and you think you can get away with it forever. Let Diddy be your caution tale. You can't get away with it forever. It can come back to bite you in the ass. So be cautious. Be weary.
Justice is never too late.
It's never too late. Like, again, just like somebody
some people say justice delayed is justice denied, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, the justice wheel is slow, but it's gonna catch up. It'll catch up, so be careful.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still all playing out, but shout out to Cassie, honestly, because I think she's
shout out to her.
She's definitely upended,
and especially just reading what she went. Oof,
yeah,
like nasty work. And honestly, I'm very, very happy to see like justice being served, whether it's served monetarily, whether it's served through prison time. I don't care what it is.
Serves you just lots of opportunity.
Or just reputation. Yeah, like whatever it is. I'm just happy to see some kind of retribution. Yeah.
Changing gears, let's talk about Cameron and his ongoing.
I'm sorry, but I just had to laugh because Cameron is a New York nigga, okay? That nigga from New York. Like, what?
So, to give you the lowdown, Cameron, who hosts a podcast with Mace, they're talking about, going to, I guess so.
They were talking about, okay, so Cameron and Mace host a podcast that talks about sports, okay? And it's supposed to give you this, and pop culture. And it's like this nostalgic feeling because rap icons, talk about sports and pop culture. So one of the episodes, and I saw the clip, so I preface this with, I get a little bit of where the uncomfortableness came from, but Cameron was like, wanted to tell some of their stories from the younger days of him and Mace. Mace just sitting there laughing and giggling. He like, it's okay, you can tell the story, but he on his Christian vibe, so he not like trying to like add into the story. But Cameron basically told a story about how when they was younger, they went to this whorehouse together, and they was trying to get down with this joint at the whorehouse, and like she was giving oral sex to Mace first, and Cameron was sitting there watching it, and then Mace started hitting the joint, and the girl was trying to give oral sex to Cameron. Cameron was like, I wasn't going to get hard off of watching you suck Mace off. He was giving details.
I didn't know there was that much detail.
Oh my God, it was detailed.
Yikes.
It was detailed.
And then Melyssa Ford.
Yeah, so I was watching it uncomfortable. Then on the Joe Budden podcast, which Melyssa Ford is the only woman on the Joe Budden podcast, okay? There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 men and her. And she was, when they brought up the topic, she essentially said,
is there a distinct possibility that there may have been underage girls in that whorehouse?
Come on now.
That's crazy. I don't know what you're doing.
That's crazy.
That's disgusting what you're doing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
What are you doing?
Okay, I am not gonna land that plane. Just saying.
That plane should have never even took
That's
off.
not a plane. That's not. It's not even wings on that bitch. No pilot.
No nothing.
No cockpit. What are you doing?
Not even a drone.
when the internet caught wind of that, they started going in on Melyssa. And granted, on the podcast, Joe and the other dudes was like, whoa, you can't say something like that because in this time of error, like, you don't know what you, like, you, that's an accusation, like, that could go, yeah. So on the internet, everybody was like, whoa, Melyssa, like, you're wilding for saying something like that. And Melyssa put out an apology. Cameron then puts out a note basically saying,
I see a clip where on Joe Budden's podcast where Melyssa Ford is talking about, oh, it might have been underage girls in there. First of all, I only like older bitches. Second of all, it was 1992. We was underage. That's A and B. We wasn't supposed to be in there. We wasn't 18. I just turned motherfucking 16. I ain't even defending myself on that nonsense. You're not even from this country. I don't know what the fuck was going on in the whorehouses in Canada or wherever you from or whatever pedophile shit they on, wherever you from. We not on that. I ain't even going into that. More of the story, she said it. Knowing the times we in, Joe Buttons and them went in on whatever. They're like, yo, that's some serious allegations, this, that, and the third. But they didn't edit it out. I could have went straight to Ice-T, fucked you in the bathroom for $2,000 when you was fucking doing waitressing. I didn't even go there. You used to fuck in the bathroom. The Kit Kat Club, one of them old ass club bitch. Stop. You a video vixen.
I was like,
Camp like that.
And, you know, he was like, basically, I could sue y'all because Joe Budden, you could have cut that out the podcast. You was talking about cutting shit out of podcast. You cut that Diddy shit out the podcast. You could have cut this out the podcast.
He was so afraid.
I never seen a grown-ass man scared of another grown-ass man in such a way.
And to be fair, Diddy was cutting his checks for a while when he worked at Revolt. So I get that, but still.
You have a podcast that you have ownership of. This is your podcast. You're not making no more music.
Everybody else.
You can't wait to talk shit about everybody else, but you had nothing to say about Diddy. Joe was foul for that. The episode was supposed to come out, and he went back and edited it so it could come out later in the day because he said he didn't want them to put him as like a scapegoat. You're not a scapegoat because real niggas talked about the Joe Budden situation. Your ex-real niggas, Rory and Mal, they talked about the Joe Budden situation.
The Diddy situation.
The Diddy situation. It's a champagne. The Diddy situation. So the fact that Joe Budden didn't talk about the Diddy situation, questionable. So yeah, basically Cameron was like, you could have cut that out, but since you did cut that out, I'll sue you.
You can't do too much when you've also been accused of like beating up a woman who's pregnant, which he's been accused of, right? His ex.
Oh yes, he is.
So sometimes you can't do too much when you have that.
And that's where Melyssa Ford went wrong. You're the only woman on a podcast with a known abuser talking about what other men should and should not have said. You shouldn't have opened your mouth.
She shouldn't have. But
you shouldn't have opened. Yeah. When people can pull cards out, especially people who know your past, when they can pull cards, I'm never speaking out against anybody who could pull my card. Now he done gave the person Ice-T the dollar amount, $2,000, and he said the specific clubs you worked at while doing it. It's like people could put the puzzle pieces together. Like, yeah. So anyways, Cameron a real New York nigga because he do not give a fuck.
Yeah.
He don't give a fuck. It's unfortunate Melyssa had to be the scapegoat.
Right. Yeah,
but
I wish she was a bit more careful there. But
yeah, and actually, one of their podcast members did a video addressing Cameron. I haven't watched it yet, but they did a video addressing Cameron on the whole situation to kind of like, you need to ease off Melyssa. So I'm gonna watch that video. I look forward to it. I think it's gonna be a back and forth because Cameron doesn't look like he's willing to let up.
Yeah.
And I get it. You accuse me of pedophilia. Right. That's the other thing he kept saying. Melyssa, you're not even from this country. You're not even from this country.
Oh, wait,
maybe they do pedo stuff in your country, but here in America, I was like, Cameron patriotic?
She can't Canadian. Where is she from?
I think she's Canadian or something. That's what he said. He said, ain't you from Canada? I didn't know Cameron was patriotic because he really kept saying, you're not even from this country. I was like, whoa.
America, fuck yeah. Let's talk about the Renaissance movie. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I went to the tour. I've seen the discourse on Renaissance, but I have not had the chance to sit and watch it.
It's really good. I have some stuff to talk to. I'll give a quick synopsis.
Yes,
Amazing.
please.
Beyonce is just a beast, and it's just first of all, 3 stages apparently. So they have 3 stages for the concert, and so while they're performing in one city, they're transporting like the other stages to like 2 other cities to go build up. Yeah, just the amount of work that went into like creating all that, you kind of see why they have to charge that much for the tickets.
Yeah.
And she's just performing through bronchitis, performing with fresh off of knee surgery. The reason why she's had those granny heels in Dubai is because she just had knee surgery. And so it's just,
whoa.
Yeah. You remember this? She had the kitten heels that making fun of her for? She just had knee surgery.
And then she definitely seemed like she was doing lighter movements in Dubai.
Right.
She went harder down the line.
Even like in the first shows of Renaissance, she's not dancing as hard as like in the later shows.
Yeah.
So, it's
hold on, bronchitis?
And she was screaming.
Because she ain't missed the note.
She
never missed the note. Bronchitis?
Not one. So it's really impressive, and you get to see that Blue Ivy saw that people were making fun of her. She probably saw Tasha K's comments because I feel like that was.
What did Tasha K say?
I need Beyonce to take a day trip back down to Houston. I need her to take a trip to the projects. All right, her local rec center, local Boys and Girls Club. Leave Blue Ivy down there for 1 week, and let's see if she's able to loosen up.
Yo, Tasha K, you OD ugly, bruh. Inside and out. How could you talk about anybody else? You're ugly and you're poor. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was she was mean. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's what Blue Ivy
You
saw.
talk about an 11-year-old little girl?
Yeah.
Yo,
but
we
the
gotta
good news
do
is
better.
that she saw that and then decided to like start practicing harder.
And came harder.
And so, it's really a great tale of triumph and just really impressive.
I love that
she doesn't really get defeated by things like that. So anyway, yeah, Renaissance, you should see it really, whenever you get a chance.
Yeah.
It's a long ass movie. I'm gonna hold you.
That's the reason why I haven't seen it yet. I got a short attention span.
I had the day off yesterday, so I just went around 3 p.m. So it was an afternoon thing.
No, I have a really short attention span. So when people is like, it's 3 hours.
It's
3 hours.
It's just 15, 20 minutes. Maybe let's just say 2 hours, 40 minutes.
They got intermissions?
None. So you just gonna have maybe you can wait till it's on demand.
I might have to wait for it to. I mean,
I did the last hour. I needed to pee.
Yeah, because I'm the type of person I like to pause the movie, give commentary, keep watching. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, pause it, be like, did you hear she said she had bronchitis? I know you heard. She said bronchitis. They keep playing. Yeah,
bronchitis. So it was amazing.
But I've seen the discourse around it. It seems like not everybody was really happy with this movie. I saw a lot of positive notes.
Do you see the vulture piece?
I saw some notes.
Yeah.
I saw notes.
So,
they were basically, it seemed like this person was dragging her for being inauthentic.
It seemed like Beyonce fucked this person's man because she was doing the utmost. So this writer named Angelica J. Bastien, who writes for Vulture, just went so ridiculously hard. And basically questioning all of Beyonce's bona fides as someone who uses her voice, and it really boils down to Beyonce letting the movie be shown in Israel, which sure we can criticize that, but if AMC wants to show it in Israel,
Yeah.
like you have to understand that not all these decisions are hers.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, other people have their shit shown. It's like it's just this.
I think
this way that we always like pick who are gonna like make the spokesperson or the ambassador for every cause.
I saw that point, but I do have to say there is validity in pointing out Beyonce specifically.
Okay.
Only because
she's so huge.
No, because Beyonce promotes herself, has started to promote herself as a voice of some sort, a voice for the unspoken, for those who have been hidden, who have been downtrodden, who have been mistreated, the LGBTQIA community, the Black community, women. Like she has started to show herself as somebody who will speak out for those who don't have a voice. So I could see how they wouldn't criticize Oppenheimer. They wouldn't criticize Barbie. I don't know who the director of Barbie is. I don't know who the director of Oppenheimer is. Who's the director of Barbie?
Greta Gerwig. No, Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan, I believe. But
I know Christopher.
Barbie is Greta Gerwig.
I don't know what other movie she did.
She did Lady Bird. She's done a few others.
Never seen her movies. Sorry.
She's the first female director to have $1 billion movie.
Congratulations, Queen.
A solo female director. Some woman had it, but she collaborated. So
yeah, I've never heard her speak out about being an activist for anybody.
Yeah,
never heard Christopher Nolan speak out about.
Right, I get it, but it's just like I get that we want to pick Beyonce because she's big and she's visible and it's just an easy target. But it felt so personal to the point where it's like even your valid points are weakened by just how bitter you are about everything. Even to the point where she's questioning that Beyonce didn't bring up that Uncle Johnny died of AIDS. Like, shit, that's not for her to bring up.
Well, okay, so did she criticize Beyonce's talent?
No.
Okay.
Even though she kind of had this like shady little, she's less, she dances less because her physicality as a woman in her 40s. it was like shady.
Okay, so
like
then
that.
I don't like that because here's the thing.
It was like shady. That's
everything else.
Yeah.
I can't combat you on because I'm not in because again, we saw the Black Panther performance for the Super Bowl, right? She did not give a fuck what anybody thought. She was going to do that performance. She did it full outright. Beautiful, beautiful performance. When you set yourself up, is like, if I'm going to talk about, as much as I've talked about like women's rights on your other podcast episodes and have stood up for women, like if something happened to a woman, if you brought up like something happened to Megan Thee Stallion, I was like, well, maybe she deserved it. I would rightfully so like get attacked. If I said nothing at all, I would rightfully so get attacked. It's when you bring up her talent that it's like, you're being a hater.
Right.
Because
it's not like she was saying that she can't dance. It was like a dig, like, oh, she's getting old. It was subtle.
You can't talk about that because who else is 40 and dancing like Beyonce?
Right. No one.
Show me a 40-year-old who executes like Beyonce does, and then I'll shut my mouth up.
Right. Yeah. It was just
like you can't talk about Beyonce's talent because she has no competitors.
And like, okay, another one that pissed me off is that she says, I got to take my kids to tuck my kids in and take them to school like everyone else, and then she goes, and then the next scene pans to her tucking them in on a private jet.
Yo, where did she go tuck them in? And not at home.
Like
they're sleeping on a private jet.
Like that's why some of it just seems so personal. So like like there's like it was a deeper issue, and it really kind of just made the whole thing lose credibility. And that was my issue with it. So
I want somebody who actually loves Beyonce to write a critique. Yeah, because like I think some of those points.
I'm thinking maybe I should do a critique because as much as I love her, I'm always willing to criticize Beyonce for where she falls short. Right, she's an amazing performer and all that. And one criticism I've always had is that for all the pro-Black messaging that she's used, she doesn't go to the BET Awards anymore. The last time she was there, she just performed and like left, right? Like I mean, the excuse was that she had a tour, but still. I mean,
performing is a lot though.
But still,
for the BET Awards.
It was just still, I just feel like they don't give enough to like all these Black outlets for people who claim.
But at the end of the day, I think the thing is that we have to remember these are very, 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 very rich Black people, like very rich Black people with legacies. Robert F. Smith also never goes to the BET Awards.
He's not an entertainer no more. And he's also married to a white woman, and so we're not.
I get it, but it's just like when you get to, and this is not just Beyonce, it's a lot of performers. When they get to a certain level, they're not showing up to BET Awards. The BET Awards lost its credibility when it stopped like leveling up its network in a way to like cater to the Black community, and it just consistently kept putting out the same things over and over and over again.
Yeah, they didn't maintain standard. It's still the most entertaining award show. I mean,
for sure. I mean, Black people we're entertaining.
Right. Yeah. But my whole thing is that, I mean, that'll be my one criticism of Beyonce, and of course also like with Jay-Z, where I feel like he's just turned being a billionaire into his personality to a point where it's like, all right. And then we're like, one moment you're like,
I can't blame him. I've never been a billionaire before. It might be my personality.
Yeah, I mean, they do say that money, like, they say it changes you and in some ways brings out, like, who you really are.
It brings out, yeah. And then also imagine this. Imagine working hard to get to $1 billion. So, like, not inheriting $1 billion, not inheriting 50 million and turning it into $1 billion,
like having
but actually coming from poverty, selling crack, losing 99 bricks, being a rapper.
I don't really believe them stories.
He probably lost the 99 bricks. Don't let him. Yeah. He lost 99 bricks.
Joe just came out and said that he lies about a lot of raps. So
he did. He was like,
I've been rapping professionally for 30 years. I've lied in almost 95% of my songs. I'm being honest. Lied.
Like how? What do you
just
mean?
go. I write like I feel that day. Mm-hmm. I'm just being creative. If you could probably you couldn't build the jail high enough for the lyrics I've said on songs, which are all untrue.
I need more rappers to come out and say this.
Yeah.
I love it. I need more rappers to come out and say this. But like, and he literally did that $1 billion from scratch.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's worth over $2 billion now. So
it would probably be part of my brand and personality too. Like,
I don't know. I don't have the money.
You're right. I don't got the money, so I can't say who
I would be with that much
but
money.
I think that we look at white capitalists completely different than we look at Black capitalists, and we think Black capitalists need to be more homely, more down to earth, more definitely personable.
We project a lot of like virtuosity to them that
and it's like first of all, he's a man. Second of all, I said what I said. He's a man. He's a man who has come into power and money. Okay? He's a fire sign. Jesus.
Oh, am I not a fire sign?
Yes, you are. And he has $2 billion and he's married to Beyonce. What has this nigga not done? He got a right to be cocky. Do I wish I knew what he did for the community more? Sure. Like, that's always going to be my critique.
I don't actually have any. I don't think anyone is required to like be.
I would love for. I just need more Black people to tell us what they do for the community.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I think you're not even required to do that. I just what I don't like is when you posture like you're this man of the people and then do some like real like hyper capitalist shit.
Like what?
Like like just the whole like palling around with like Roger Goodell, and I don't even say that's even not even like capitalist.
That's his people now.
It's not even that it even made him money. It's that it gave him power. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's just like, wow, like what really matters to you?
Money and power, because that's what he got.
Right.
Like what you got is what matters to you. Like I have a certain amount of money, having that certain amount of money, but I also have my friends and my family and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's what matters to me. When I get more money, you get more friends or different friends, more access to power. That's what starts to matter. Like your priorities shift. And I think we as regular people, we're expecting, they're regular people too, but regular people with money. We're expecting regular people who have seen things and have access to things that we literally cannot imagine.
I hear you, but
to be relatable.
I'm not expecting to be relatable. I'm just expecting to have some kind of like core value system that he does not veer away from so easily, right? I think whatever it is he gained from the NFL, shit he's doing, I think is not worth how like just bad it makes him look and how it just kind of just lessens all the credibility about him, like just being pro-Black and acting like this and that. Like you just like
see that's
and this is coming from someone who thinks that Colin Kaepernick is full of shit.
Oh shit! You think Colin Kaepernick is full of shit?
Yeah, that's my secret's out. That's my big unpopular opinion. I think Colin Kaepernick is. So here's the thing. Let's talk about this.
Okay, because shocked.
You know what? Coming soon in future episodes, I want to have like more segments where we just go on something that's not quite like headline focused.
Yeah.
And just about an idea. And I think one thing I want to talk about is, and so if someone called it actually, I saw this tweeter, they called it spokesman syndrome. But I just think about people who like try like turn their activism into like a show, and how like so often those people aren't really about shit. And in the case of Colin Kaepernick, my main issue with him is that he used all that attention to like say some very irresponsible, false things about like the election, and I think for whatever criticism I have about the Democratic Party, if you say things that makes it sound like either the parties are indistinguishable, I think you're wasting you're wasting your platform, and you're being very counterproductive about the things you say you care about. And so either you don't really care about those things, or you do and you're just really stupid and you don't know how to further your cause. That's my opinion. Because when he was asked about voting in 2016, I thought his responses were just complete garbage. And so, and then also to buttress that point, when he was finally asked to come like do like the workout a few years ago, he insisted on going to this other random stadium and just made a whole fiasco out of it. And you just could tell that this is an unserious person, like I knew he was. And so
I think that's kind of jaded, because I think most of the time, Jay-Z and Colin Kaepernick think that when they're doing these things from their perspective, they really think that they're making a change within their community through the avenues that they know best. Like, and I know the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but they really do think that they have good intentions, right?
I actually don't think Jay-Z thought I thought Jay-Z was just being a cynic.
No, I think that he really thought, like, with the deal with the NFL, I honestly really think he thought like, okay, this is the avenue I know best. If I'm in the room, at least I can push some resistance some way, somehow.
That's very generous of you.
I think
it's very generous.
I mean, it's honestly what I think. I think with Colin Kaepernick, I think that like a black man who grew up in the United States, right? Granted, he is mixed, but
wow.
I mean, his experience is different than the typical black man. It just is. Colorism is a real thing in the United States of America. So we have to, take it for what it is. But
and that's why, random segue. I got like really, I think people overreacted a bit to Tyler Tyler the singer saying that she was colored and not black.
Yeah.
Because in South Africa, it's a thing. People who are mixed, part black and something else, don't call themselves black.
They're call themselves colored. So, yeah, but also I think like you got to know your market. If you want to pop in South Africa, girl, pop in South Africa. If you want to pop in the United States of America, please understand historical context. But like Colin Kaepernick, I think you got to understand his political experiences. I don't think a lot of pro-black men, like who are super pro-black and that is what their image is, would be in support of the Democratic Party. I don't think they would be in support of either political party for real.
So where we at?
I don't think that your pro-blackness looks like the pro-blackness I'm referring to.
Yeah, because that pro-blackness that you're referring to is really more of a performance, and
I
less
don't think
about
it's
sincere wanting.
I think that pro-blackness
progress for black people. They're more about wearing the kente and more about kneeling down. More about the show.
I think that pro-blackness is more radical.
Like they care.
Do you think your pro-blackness is radical? I think it's just the difference between radical pro-blackness and yours. I would say yours is rational. It's not radical.
Yes. But isn't being rational always the best to be?
Sure, because if I'm being rational,
so here's my thing about being radical. If your radicalism means that you're being shut down at the very beginning and therefore unable to accomplish anything, then what good is that?
No, and I hear you. Totally see where you're coming from. I think rational makes more sense because if I'm being rational, black people will never be a great majority in this country. The systems have never set it up to do so. You can vote as many times as you want to on any fucking laws for black people as you want to. The system wasn't set up for us to win.
It's actually Charles Blow has this new idea he's pushing. He wants a lot of black people to move south to create black majorities in southern states.
And that's great, but then we'll get shit. It's probably not going to happen. Thank you. But, one, it's probably not going to happen. Two, we saw Black advancement in our history, and each time Black people advanced, white people came through to say, we're going to kill all you niggers. Sorry if I have to use that word, but that's what they said.
It's like HBO around here. Okay. We curse.
I'm screaming. We're going to bomb you. We're going to lynch you. We're going to kill you. You're not going to succeed. Right. And which has made it hard for Black people to feel confident in advancing. So if I'm taking a rational point of view, Black people will always be able to take a step at a time, but we'll never reach the actual destination we're looking to reach because the system wasn't set. Just like in the jungle, the lion is the lion and the mouse is the mouse. That's what the fuck it is in the United States of America. The radical person says, I know that's what the fuck it is. However, I have a problem with that. I'm angry with that. And I want the biggest changes to be made. I don't care what the rational person says.
Here's my thing about what this quote unquote radicals is that oftentimes they point out these things that they think no one else notices. Of course, the rational people can see all the flaws, and the rational people know what's ideal, right? But you have to look and say what's actually feasible.
Yeah.
What can you do? What is who are you dealing with? And honestly, if you really believe that your quote unquote enemy are as evil or whatever as you think that they are, then why would you leave it up to them to have more power? Why would you risk that? Why would you if you really think a certain demographic does not want your best interest and is doing everything to make life worse for you, why would you risk letting them have more power?
So do you believe in the greater or what is it? What is that quote that people use about
the lesser of two evils?
Yeah.
Quote, because you're already admitting off the top that they're not equal because there's a lesser evil, right? It's just a stupid quote. And when people use that quote, I feel like they're just announcing that.
I feel like we need an office zoom in right now.
It's just.
I totally get where you're coming from, but I also, maybe it's the Libra in me. I also understand the radical. I think I was pretty radical for a short period of time, and then it kind of drained me energetically because I realized, why am I being radical? One, it's not manageable, but two, is I'm being radical for some shit it's just the jungle. It's just how it is.
About radicalism, because my idea of radicalism, because I actually have potential to be radical because of my ideas are radical, is that it just doesn't stop at voting. It's everything. It's how you consume.
Yep.
And you can't really act it out. If you really want to be radical and really want to be pro-Black and really want to divest from the Eurocentrism in every aspect of your life, even you wouldn't have that Gucci purse over there. You wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
And so
would I have an iPhone?
There's a lot of things where it's just no. And so
would I have my web?
Exactly. And so could you really do it?
No, but here's the thing. It's some radical people who they really be about that life.
And I respect those people.
They really be about that life.
They're really they on their shit.
But they be about that life.
And I like people who can actually act it out all the way, no matter what people say. Those are the real people I respect. But if you're gonna be oh, maybe sometimes I'll be radical on this issue and be a complete coon on this other issue. No.
But we also got to realize that it is rare to find people who are distinctly Black and white. Most people approach life through a gray lens. And then beyond that, I think after a certain amount of time, going back to the Jay-Z point, after a certain amount of time, you understand, one, I'm in the jungle. So there's the lions. I happen to be part of the mice.
So the fact that lions are considered king of the jungle is just the greatest.
Because tigers is really the king of the jungle.
Right, in every single way.
Tigers is really the king of the jungle.
They're faster, they can swim, nigga.
Okay, so let's do it that way. But no, to your point,
and that's
propaganda says, okay.
And actually, it's a great metaphor for life. Because the so-called king of the jungle is not actually the strongest.
T. Okay.
Like the T.
Hello. That was good. That was good. But to that point, I think then you find the Black excellence route, which I really want to read. There's this book on Black excellence that I really want to read. I know. And there's a book I want to read about it, where they talk about how to that point, you'll find the mice trying to separate themselves to distinguish, I'm not like those other mice. so I can make a change and be rich. And through that richness, I'm going to help my community. But I also know y'all be taking each other down, so I'm not going to do too much.
I've seen so many takes of that, and I saw like, you know, one of the guys on Martha's Vineyard show had like a great.
I love it, Grapevine. You talking about Grapevine?
No, I'm talking about Martha's Vineyard reality TV show, like Summer House.
There's a Martha's Vineyard reality television show?
Yeah. And you might know, you know, I think someone who's going to be in next season, someone that we know, but we'll talk about that.
Ooh,
but anyways, but whatever the case, he has made a point about it. But my point about the whole like black excellence phrase is that it kind of just puts black people in like the Special Olympics, because it's like, why can't you just be excellent? When you say black excellent, because oftentimes the things that they say that are black excellence are things that white people did a century ago. So like,
I mean, but
like,
also,
like,
it's
are we
black
equals or
excellence.
not?
I think that what people
what
have
you're
to
trying
take
to say.
overall is
I know
that
what you're trying
like
to say.
there's a system set up. That's why it's black excellence. That's why when a black kid is in fucking 12 years old, that he graduates high school, it's black excellence, because everything in the system was set up for him not to have access to all of those things to not make him graduate even on time. And he was able to take that, take in even more knowledge, and graduate ahead of his peers. That's black excellence.
I still don't like the phrase, but I'll take what you're saying for what it is.
All right.
Let's talk winners and losers. Thevey, I'll let you go first.
My winner is Ashanti, because Ashanti and Nelly are pregnant. She is 43 and he is 45. 49.
Yeah,
Shit.
and he has 2 adult children, like 26 and 29.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's crazy, but it's really great. Nelly spun the block and parked the car. It's like it's really
beautiful. It's honestly really beautiful. I'm really happy for them. I can't imagine, like, one, I'm happy for her because she got to live her life in her 20s. She got to live her life in her 30s. Baby girl was on the yacht.
All she does is vacation. I'm like,
okay,
Jesus.
Body was bodying. You know what I'm saying? She looking good. She living her life. She not attached to any man. You literally can't put a man on Ashanti.
Right.
Besides Irv Gotti, because he was a chatty patty.
He's probably throwing up right now.
Sick to his stomach. Besides Irv Gotti, you can't put another man on Ashanti. And like, for her to be pregnant at 43, it's a miracle. It's beautiful. And I'm super excited for her. Like,
and they look just so happy.
They look so happy together. Even Nelly's child is really happy for them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, one of Nelly's adult children was like posting the stories of the celebration of, I think, his birthday party, and just talking about how happy she is for them. Like, I'm happy for them for sure.
Oh, I love that.
Which brings me to my loser. Is the women who claim they are girls, but are really judgy ass hoes. A lot of you girls who say y'all are girls, was like, oh, Ashanti pregnant and she not even married. I can't imagine making it to 43 and all I got is a baby daddy. Why he ain't married her? Oh, Ashanti let Nelly spin the block. Why she let Nelly spin the block? Ew, if you dumped him, you dumped him for a reason. First of all, you're not in her shoes. You will never be in her shoes. You're not rich and famous. You're not a famous singer. You're not as fine as her. You don't look as good as her. You never got a nigga that look good as Nelly. You never got a nigga as rich as Nelly. You've never been in her shoes. You're not 43. You don't know what it's like to be pregnant at 43 or to be able to fall in love again at 43. You don't know any of those things. So you're speaking from a perspective where you have no actual knowledge of. Speaking from a subjective point of view, and you're projecting like a motherfucker. I need y'all to get a life. I need y'all to focus on getting your own man. Get your own man. Worry about getting married. Worry about getting pregnant. You worry about that. Ashanti don't want to worry about that. Let Ashanti do her, and you do you. I think it's really interesting when these celebrity black women get pregnant. I be thinking it's going to be like the men saying negative stuff. It be the girls each and every time. Yeah, had negative stuff to say about Halle. Allegedly, she's pregnant. We don't know if she's pregnant, but allegedly.
I mean, but isn't that kind of justified though with Halle?
Why is it justified?
I mean, DDG was basically being like a hater about her big project.
Again, y'all don't know their relationship.
Of course, but I'm saying
y'all don't know their relationship. You don't know if she checked her nigga or not. You don't know. And here's the thing. I think this is the thing that like be missing and is so nuanced. I think a lot of times we think men are supposed to be perfect and they're not. Your male partner is not perfect. He's not. So what you're seeing is an imperfect woman, because you probably think she's perfect. We found out Halle is not. Halle ain't perfect. Her man ain't perfect. They imperfectly came together to have a baby. Ashanti's not perfect. Nelly's not perfect. They came together to have a baby. Cam Newton isn't perfect. Jasmine Brown isn't perfect. They came together to have a baby, because no human is perfect. So for y'all to sit there and be like, oh, I can't believe you got pregnant by him, and I can't be mad at your sister who got pregnant by a broke nigga. Be mad at your sister. Don't be mad at Ashanti. Be mad at your best friend who got pregnant by an abusive nigga. Don't be mad at Halle. Be mad at your best friend. Y'all be projecting. Tell your best, because you ain't had that conversation with your sister. You ain't had that conversation with your best friend. Did you tell her, oh, I can't believe you pregnant by a nigga who beats you? I can't believe you pregnant by a nigga who's broke. Did you tell her that? Nah, but you want to tell Ashanti, and you want to tell Halle, and you want to tell Jasmine. You telling the wrong people. Tell the people closest to you. And you too, avoid that mistake yourself. But telling people who literally don't know you and will never take your advice is weirdo behavior. That's it. Y'all are losers. Y'all not girls.
Tell us how you really feel.
I will. Because
oh my God. Okay.
All
right, so you started with winners, right? All right, so my winners, Usher, who just finished his Vegas residency, even though I hear he might be coming back.
It was his 100th show, right?
100th show. It's also the final show. So yeah, Usher winner, Beyonce winner. His movie debuted at #1 with $21 million in the box office. Great watch. You really need to watch it when you have a chance. Fantasia, The Color Purple.
Such beautiful black excellence. I know you hate that word, but just it's beautiful black excellence. Because who is touching these people? Who is touching Usher? Name one person. Who's touching Beyonce? Name one person.
No one.
They try to compare her to Taylor Swift. You can't compare. You can't compare when you can't compete.
You
can't compare when you can't
stop
compete.
Trying to make fetch happen. But anyways, and then Melyssa Ford, I'm not sure how I'm not messing her name up, and Ford, formerly Mrs. Holmes, TJ Holmes' ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, and Andrew Shue, former husband of Amy Robach, apparently are now dating each other after their exes publicly embarrassed them by having an affair.
Yes.
So I love it. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I love it. So yeah, those are my winners. And also, last winner, actually, Nene Leakes, apparently rumored might be coming back to Bravo, because apparently Bravo started following her on like Instagram.
Oh yeah.
So she started trending just based off of that.
So nasty, which is and so rude. We love me a Nene moment.
So yeah, that's big reality TV news. Losers. Diddy. Actually, I have another anyway, we'll start with Diddy. Diddy. It speaks. You don't gotta
Diddy. Say it. Like
Russell Simmons, he's had an interview this week saying that Kamara stole $800 million for him, and everybody's like, "All right, well, come tell the police."
Literally, we don't care.
No, but it's like, okay, come to America, come to the police. You can't come to America. Why can't you come to America, Russell Simmons?
And you had the interview where? In Bali,
right? So, we'll let you fill in the blank there. But anyways, next loser is Lanisha Chantrese Henderson, the woman who tried.
That's a hell of a name.
I was going to do that.
Lanisha Chantrese Henderson.
Beautiful name. But she tried to burn down Martin Luther King Jr.'s home, and apparently she's suffering from mental health.
She was missing for 2 days from her family. Yeah, she's a vet who suffers from mental health issues.
So. I was going to exclude her for because of her mental health issues, but I don't think that's an excuse for doing something like that, because there are lots of mental.
You don't know what Martin Luther King Jr. did to her grandma or grandpa.
Maybe she's trying to get her lick back.
This could be hereditary beef.
Kodak Black, who apparently tried to swallow cocaine, or did he actually swallow cocaine?
He actually swallowed the cocaine.
Because they were trying to find the
he got pulled over and he swallowed cocaine. The cops saw him swallow something. He was like, oh, it was just Percocets. Well, eventually you got a shit. So
And hope. I mean, I don't know what the quantity was, but that's really scary because that's basically how Juice WRLD died.
Wow.
He had a whole bunch of pills with him, and when his plane was like, because the pilot told him to snitch on police that, oh yeah, they have drugs on the plane. So when he landed, and they saw the cops out there.
Why did they snitch?
It'd be like that. So he apparently swallowed a whole bunch of pills and died. Jonathan Majors, who wanted his white ex-girlfriend to be like Coretta Scott King
or Michelle Obama.
I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is gonna be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
No. Do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
He said, "You better hold me down like the great black women did, white woman."
So some audio was played during the trial.
Yeah,
and he's basically asking for Grace Jabari, his ex-girlfriend, who's accusing him of physical abuse. He's asking her to hold him down like the great.
And Megan Good is still by his side.
You know what? She's the next loser because I'm not really sure what any of this is about. Why?
I don't get it.
I'm not sure what the benefit is here, but
good peen.
Yeah. Is that
maybe
enough?
It's good peen? Good peen be making women do the craziest shit. So that's probably it.
Gotcha. All right. Next loser is Angelica J. Bastion, the writer from Vulture, who was just hating with her whole ass about Beyonce. It's just crazy. You need to go read the piece from top to bottom.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Yeah. And last was I have a lot of losers today.
You did. Like, you have more losers than winners.
Right.
Hey, you hating too. What's up? People just living their lives.
Hater of the year. The last loser, Nick Cannon, who is hosting a party. I guess hosting a live event along with Zeus Network, which is Zeus is basically trying to destroy the black community.
Zeus is literally Jesus Lord, Jesus.
Trying to destroy the black community.
Oh my goodness.
And they
are solely responsible for the destruction of the black community.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially, so it's gonna be like a Wild and Out versus like Zeus
members
thing. Yeah.
And it's basically light skin versus dark skin, and it's like on a flyer in 2023, and no one sees anything
literally a flyer with dark skinned women on one side and light skinned women on the other.
And mind you, Nick Cannon fashions himself a pro-black man, which goes back to my point how so many of these people who do all the very loud pro-blackness and like do the head wraps and costumes and do all this shit oftentimes are not about anything. Oftentimes do not live to the purported values and are really most times just way more anti-black than people who might seem regular or mainstream or middle of the road.
I would say notice a lot of pro-black men love them some light-skinned and white women.
Yeah.
They love that. So it's interesting for a black man who only has light-skinned baby mamas. I think because Jessica. Did Jessica have his baby? Jessica White?
No, it was Lanisha Cole, the girl who was in the front video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So literally only one.
Jessica had a miscarriage.
She had a miscarriage. That's what I thought. So many light skinned baby mamas and thought it was appropriate for a light skinned dark.
And I'm not. I don't like to say like just. I don't want to assume people's intentions, but I feel like people making jokes about all the women he had babies with is why he probably just went and had like the one.
Yeah, I think it was very obtuse.
Yeah, so
it was very obtuse from him. Like
the flyer. Yeah,
yeah. Just, like you're not. You depict yourself as a pro-black man. You knew better. You literally knew better.
The people that
you decided to go against what you knew.
I hate to be this way, but the people who are the loudest about this are only doing it for a look. It's
not Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar would never be with a snow bunny. Dr. Umar would never.
Anyways, but yeah, Nick Cannon,
shout out
loser.
Dr. Umar.
Oh my god.
I know this is vexing him so much right now, but shout out Dr. Umar.
Okay, good. Very good. Very nice. So
so nasty and so rude.
Episode 75. Before we leave though, let the people know where they can find enjoy.
Yes. So I'm Thevey. You can find me on Instagram at ms.thevey, Miss Thevey. You can find my podcast with my co-host Shauna on Enjoy Podcast. That's INJOY Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of those places. And I hope to see you all there.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for having me, Ronce. It's always a joy.
Of course. All right. Episode 75. No Hipsters Spot. Talk to you next time.
Cheers. Bye.